Hello, everyone. Welcome back. These days, there's a lot of talk about the police and, in fact, defunding the police. People are very concerned about the actions of many policemen and police women throughout the country, not just in our country, but in other countries as well. They're shooting people without provocation and acting in ways that really are not befitting law enforcement. And some police have been arrested and charged with very serious crimes. As a result of it, many people feel that the police should be downgraded, and many of the cases that the police deal with should not be dealt with by law enforcement officers with guns and sticks, but with social workers, and they should be the ones to be helping people. And there's a very big argument about it. Should the police be downgraded and defunded, or less funds to them, or not? What is the Jewish perspective to this? Well, clearly, police are necessary. In fact, in this week's Torah portion, we read, Shoftim v'shotrim, titein lecha b'chol sharecha, it says, judges, Shoftim, and shotrim. Shotrim are policemen or enforcers of the law. We need to place in all of our gates. The gates are where in olden days where judgment was handed down, was in the gates of the city. So the Torah is telling us that we should have shoftim, judges, and they should deal with mishpat tzedek, as it says, with righteous, fair judgment. It should not be like in some third world countries or dictatorships where corruption leads the land, but rather it should be fair and honest. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdo, justice, justice, you shall pursue. That both the means and the end should be just. That's why it says tzedek twice. The means and the end should be also righteous, and so on and so forth. But the interesting thing is the shotrim. What are shotrim? So you have laws that are handed down, but unless you have a method of enforcing the laws don't mean anything. I remember a number of years ago, we had to take someone to small claims court, and the judge ruled in our favor. And then the question is, how can we enforce the judgment? And the judge said, well, you can't. That's it. You can't. So I thought, what's the whole purpose of this whole charade? If you can't enforce it, if the person doesn't have to pay, then what good is the judgment altogether? Only if you have shotrim, then you can have proper judgment. Interestingly, in modern Hebrew today, in Israel, the police are called mishtara, from the word shotrim, from judgments. So it's very important to have police. But of course, the police also should be held accountable for what they do. Police, just because they are given a gun, doesn't mean that they can do whatever they want. I think the answer is not to deregulate the police or lower the police or defund the police, but rather to regulate the police so that the police are watched and the police are well trained and they know how to deal with issues that come up. Interestingly, though, in the book of Yeshayahu, in the first chapter of Yeshayahu, it talks about something similar to our judgment, our judges, except with one small difference. The pasuk says, "V'ashiva shavtecha v'rishona v'tzayich kivat chila." I will return your judges as originally they were, and your advisors like the beginning. And then it says, "Zion b'mishpat pada." Zion will be redeemed through judgments. V'shaveh b'tzedakah, and its captives with judgment. Where are the police mentioned? Where are the shotrim mentioned in the last verse of Isaiah? So what is Isaiah talking about? He's talking about the Messianic time. When Mashiach comes, there will still be judges, but there will not be police. What? This is every left-winger's dream. No police. The progressives are among us are thrilled with that. No police. Why? because we won't need police. The Rebbe says that during Mashiach's time, all evil will be gone from the world. Even the Yetzer Hara will no longer exist. The evil inclination will no longer exist. So we won't need police, not at all, because everyone will want to do the right thing. One of those advisors that Yeshayahu talks about, what are they doing? Well, they're simply to advise us about the law and tell us what, similar to rabbis today, to advise us and to direct us into the proper way. But everyone will want to do the right thing. And indeed, we believe that essentially everyone really wants to do the right thing. It's just for whatever reason, the Yetzer Hara we have now causes us to do the wrong thing. There's an interesting halacha in the Rambam where it says that if a man refuses to give his wife a get, a religious divorce, you're even allowed to beat him up. We don't do it today, of course, but in the olden days they did it until he says, Reitza ani. Until he says, I want, I'll do it. You can beat him up until he agrees to do it. Well, that's not really the way we practice it today, but I don't understand. How is it then that does he really want? When he says Rotsa ani, does he really want? He doesn't want. You're beating it out of him, so he says he wants. So the commentaries explain, indeed, he really does want it. Every man wants to do the right thing with his wife. Every man wants to do it. It's just that because of all the coarseness that we have inside of us, and the strength of the Yetzer Hara inside of us, that it causes us to do the wrong things. Every person wants to do the right thing. It's just that a spirit of foolishness enters into them and causes them to do the wrong thing. As it says, it's brought down in halacha that every single Jew wants to do the right thing. And therefore, the police are only there, should only be there, to guide us along into the right path as well. We've had many issues with police over the years. They've been wonderfully helpful to us in our synagogue and our private life. They've only been terrific to us. I have no complaints at all. They've handled every issue that we've come in a professional way, in a good way, and we really, certainly in our community, appreciate very much the work and the dedication of these police, and how much they sacrifice their lives every single day to go out there and to fight difficult forces out there in the world. And we should really give the police our utmost support, certainly. Candlelighting this week is at 7:20 in San Diego. I want to wish you all a very good Shabbos, a good Shabbos, good Shabbos.